When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Live from New York. It's a show. That's too aggressive.
It's a big day.
More aggressive.
Last night
You were more aggressive than the Thunder players.
Oh!
I'm just saying.
I gotta tell you something. I always enjoy and appreciate working with Brew.
Yeah.
Days like today where we are going to get the afterglow of him 3 months ago saying Wemby's the best player in the world. Serious journalist, Brew.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever absolutely ludicrous performance he has cooked up, it really is the best of all worlds. I can't wait.
You called us before anybody.
I don't gloat. I mean,
But if he's Akeem Olajuwon,
it's a
at this point, if from now on, am I wrong?
that's
If he
not even
becomes Akeem Olajuwon, we're like, wow.
Now it's like, yeah, obviously.
Listen,
It started out like he was going to be so challenged for the
dedicated
GOAT.
to Akeem Olajuwon.
And Akeem is great, but
You're
I think
100%
Akeem
right.
would do
First
the same.
hour, first things first. Today, SGA gets the MVP trophy. Wemby gets the win. How much did the trophy inspire the win? Meanwhile, Shea was held to 24. Can he outplay Wemby this series, get back on track?
He can't.
Well, it's good defense.
He can't.
And finally, the friendliest segment in all of sports, King of the Hill. I bailed on my segment because Wemby had such a good performance.
Well, what was your segment going to be, KW?
I was going to cook you up with my segment, man.
Because if people don't know, Wilds mocked the idea of doing King of the Hill.
Yeah. No.
And you still, by the way, have that thing in your tooth.
Do I really? I didn't check it.
I told you an hour ago.
Gosh darn it.
It's just a piece
It was
of
an
salad,
NFL
that's all.
segment called, Man, I'm going to watch that. I was going to go
That
through
actually might be.
Yeah, well,
sounds pretty good.
there's a- ooh,
Entertaining.
Bill
Not for the
Sheik.
day, but in the
Man, I'm going to watch that. Go through all the games. And I have different.
I like that. I like
Great,
that.
Kevin
Wow.
Wilds. Man, I'm going to watch that is delayed till next week. We start in OKC, the best game of Wemby's life. 41 points, 24 rebounds, plays almost 50 minutes, all after watching SGA receive the MVP trophy before tip-off. Wemby was asked about the ceremony inspiring him, and here's what he said.
Just curious if that was in your mind at all, knowing that Shea had got that award and you were in the top 3 for it, and, did any part of tonight feel personal? Some of your facial expressions kind of look like you were really, really going for it.
Yeah, for sure. Everything you just said. I still got a lot to learn. And I want to get that trophy, many times in my career.
Let's go. Brew, your reaction to Wemby's epic performance.
Well, first of all, I'll say this. That was the perfect answer to that reporter's question about, did you take it personal? Yeah, everything you said. Like that said it all. But I've only got 2 words to start off with. Le boîte!
What?
That is the box in French. For those of you who don't speak French like I do. Le boîte. All right?
I mean, Broussard has some French.
I am like Wemby. I'm African and French.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of other stuff in there too, but those are mainly African and French Creole. All right, first of all, some espresso in Le Boîte. That's the French.
I think that's Italian. Brew.
But certainly European.
Hubs told me it was French. So
He's not our
it's definitely international.
Expert.
And you guys,
a little
look,
bit of espresso.
it's better to be at the party
Yes.
than not, late to the party, but at the party.
Yes.
Rather than to not show up at all. You guys a little late to the party because especially Nick, you mocked me a lot of my
didn't mock
Wemby things.
you.
But you're coming to the party anyway. I bought you berets for each of you to put on because now you have joined the party.
We're supposed to wear these?
Yeah, you guys supposed to
I'll
put
be
them
honest
on.
with you, bro. I'm not 100% sure how to wear a beret.
It's going to mess up your...
Oh, that's sharp.
Oh,
You like that, right?
Oh, I look like...
There you go. And of course, to top it off, a little French pastry.
Oh, the French pastry.
Of course, some French pastry.
That is perfect.
Because Wemby did go up in OKC's house, kick up his feet, and order some French pastry.
That's
All right,
right.
so here's my reaction. In my 50 years of watching the NBA closely and 30 years of covering it, I have seen, in my mind, 4 announcement games.
Ooh, 4 announcement
I'm
games.
so
I
excited.
love
By
this.
announcement, I mean, that is when an individual superstar announced to the world, I'm here and I'm taking the league
I got one
over.
off the bat.
I'm about to take the league over. All right? Doesn't mean they won a championship right away, but I'm about to take the league over. And importantly, the basketball public at large acknowledged, yeah, he's here.
I want to.
It's his league.
I'm just going to write down what I think
right.
they are.
We have one obvious one.
No, but
Well,
go
the
ahead.
first one, and I was a young boy, but it was an impression on me. Magic Johnson's rookie year, Game 6, Kareem out, he jumped
Famous.
centers,
Yes.
42 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 steals.
Announcement
to win,
games.
and he was made the MVP. For those that don't know, Magic was second to Bird in Rookie of the Year in a rout. Bird routed him. So Magic didn't take the league by storm right away. Like, he played well,
Yes.
but Bird was the better rookie. And then Magic took over from there. Second, Michael Jordan, 63 points.
Classic.
When Larry Bird, against Boston, Larry Bird called him God disguised as Michael Jordan. And they lost that game, but it still was like, oh my, he's here. Third, LeBron, the 48-point special.
That's right.
Against Detroit, 25 straight points, 29 of the Cavs' last 30. I was in the building for that phenomenal game. That was when it was like, oh,
He's here.
he's the best player in the league now.
right.
And then last night, I mean,
Good company.
I said months ago he's the best player in the world. And Jokic got the best of him that one
Yes.
game, and it was like, okay, let's see, he's got to prove it. He's the best player in the world, period. You saw him against the MVP, and it was like they were on different stratospheres. All right, no diss to Shea, because a lot of players would look that way. But he's the best player in the world.
A little bit of it is.
And he was awesome last night. What I like, Nick, is that 22 of his 25 field goal attempts were in the paint.
Yeah.
22 of his 25. Now, most of them, he had 9 offensive rebounds. A lot of them were putbacks.
And a lot of them were
lobs.
lobs, yep.
It's still, through the first 3.5 quarters or so, and they had control, they were ahead roughly 7 points, around, 5 to 10 points at that point. I was still saying, post him a little more. They still play around a little bit. They don't play around on purpose like they're playing with their food, but he has such an advantage that you still want, just flash him to the opposite post and throw it to him.
Yeah.
I think OKC kind of forced them into that. Force is the wrong word, but made them do that because you put Caruso or
Correct.
Jalen Williams on him. So it was like he got such an advantage, I'm just going to go in there. But he obviously hit one of his 2 threes. It's a historic, iconic 3. But and finally, Nick, I'll say this. He showed he's not just great because he's 7'5".
Correct.
Right?
That's
The
definitely true.
defense obviously is a huge part of it, is his size. But his athleticism, we've had big 7'4" guys, Mark Eaton, Manute Bol, even taller than that, but they weren't as athletic. The fact that he can cover so much ground is what keeps teams out of the
And
paint.
is graceful.
Yes, he's great. He's got all the skills you would need. He might be an NBA player if he was 6'5". Because he has such great skills. So it was an announcement game, and I think now the whole world realizes, okay, he's the best player in the world.
And to your point, Brew, about that it felt like they could have gotten him more involved. With 30 seconds left in overtime, he had 29 points. Mm-hmm. And if that iconic shot, if he misses it, he finishes with 29 points, a bunch of rebounds in a game they kind of let slip away.
Yep.
And instead, he makes it, and before the moment double overtime started, he was at his career high in minutes. This was only his 4th game ever he touched 40 minutes. It was his 1st game ever he touched 44, and he started the second overtime with 44. And I thought at the end of the first overtime, he was starting to look gassed because he was, and then he channeled something special in the second overtime.
Yeah.
He had more juice in the second overtime, maybe from the adrenaline of hitting the shot, than he had in the first overtime. And so you mentioned these iconic moments. And I, on my podcast, What's Right, a couple weeks ago, somebody asked me about kind of the list of greatest players, the greatest player alive title belt. And Kobe fans, understandably, get very frustrated with me because Kobe won league MVP in 2008. He won the title in 2009 and 2010. And on my list of best players alive, his name doesn't show up. And it is because I know what all the accolades were and I know how great he was. I also know how it felt in the moment watching a 22-year-old LeBron James in May of 2007, before he had ever won an MVP, before he had ever been to a finals game, in that 48 special game, and just feeling like, that's the best basketball player alive, and he is going to remain that for a barring injury, and for LeBron, luckily there wasn't one until Christmas Day of 2018, until further notice. And that is the feeling I got last night. The feeling I got last night was not, the Spurs are definitely winning the series. It was, and you might feel differently, but it was not, the Spurs are definitely winning the championship. The feeling I got last night was, Brew was absolutely right. This is the best basketball player alive, and it is hard to construct an argument against it other than he doesn't yet have the accomplishment pelts. But if we are being honest about who you think has the most impact on a game and can have the most impact, and I also think, KW, it was really special that he did that in that game when Shea got the MVP. Because you guys,
You talked about it yesterday.
He did exactly what Olajuwon
did. He did exactly what Olajuwon did. And while I understandably, Wemby is already, people are talking about, is he going to make the LeBron MJ debate irrelevant? Is he going to be the greatest player of all time? That is a long horizon.
Right.
There are checkpoints along the way. And Hakeem Olajuwon is in front of a few of those checkpoints. The greatest international player ever is Hakeem Olajuwon. Wemby's trying to become that. The greatest defensive player, if not ever, certainly since Russell. Hakeem is that. Wemby's trying to become that. And young Hakeem had a 49-25 in the playoffs. Young Hakeem took a team to the playoffs. The things we are seeing, or to the finals, I should say, Wemby attempt to do. And old Hakeem watched David Robinson win an MVP that he thought should be his, even though it shouldn't have been. He thought it should be. And went out and put up 41 points. And Hakeem, when he saw David Robinson win the MVP, went 41-16, 4-3-2. And Wemby, when he saw Shea get the MVP, went 41-24, 3-1-3. And they are different players in no small part, Brew, because the game has changed.
Absolutely.
But Hakeem was the greatest, in my opinion, perimeter shooting big. At least he and Ewing, there was an argument like
he had the most moves.
Yes, he played differently than other centers. Mm-hmm. And Wemby is doing that in the modern era. And so I seed the ground on, you can't be the greatest player without any of the accomplishments, because the guy who I think is the greatest player of all time, I thought was the greatest player ever before he had the accomplishments. After that 48 special
Jordan
game,
was regarded as
Jordan
that before he won the
definitively, but he had won MVP maybe, but hadn't won a championship. And so that's what I think we'll remember last night for, KW.
Wow. Brew, I had this 40 points, 20 rebounds, age 22 or younger in playoff games. It's Wemby and Kareem. How comfortable are you now saying that, he's going to be better than Hakeem Olajuwon? How far is too far off of just one game? We're not that far away from him scoring, having mediocre games. It wouldn't be shocking if he had a...
It wouldn't be shocking if he had a 12-point game in this series.
That's the thing.
12-point game.
I'm just trying to balance out a little bit, and I've been over my skis too.
I think the thing with him is, let's say game 2, he could have 12 points. I don't think he will, but if he had 12 points, he still could wildly impact the game. Like you saw defensively. Now, I think OKC is going to have to adjust and try to take a page out of Minnesota's book and just attack. But yesterday, they were totally avoiding the paint when he was in there. And then whenever he was taken out, they just attacked
and
at
OKC
will.
also benched Hartenstein because of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
They decided, they realized the same thing Minnesota realized with Gobert and Portland realized, but it didn't matter with Portland really. We can't have a non-shooting big out there.
Right.
Because then Wemby doesn't have to guard him, and then
He can just roam and
so this is if you want to counterbalance at all.
Yeah.
Your tweet.
That's when I was over my skis.
No, not that tweet. The tweet during the game about him running through Caruso.
Oh, I liked that.
So
I don't know if we pulled that.
So
play,
that
but
is
I
so
loved it.
here.
That's
What
Dan hated it, but I liked
it
it.
is it the so where he does, I think, have to be careful is this.
I was glad they didn't call a flagrant, and they shouldn't have.
They shouldn't have, but he put himself in
he's
potential
just a-
jeopardy
right.
because he
Dropping
lowered
his-
his
yep,
shoulder.
yep.
And the reason a flagrant would have mattered was he would be at 3 flagrant foul
yeah.
points and at 4 years suspended. So the only
But it's just I mean, you're up to how much time is left right there?
it's also a bad basketball play.
It's a crazy basketball
Right.
play but he has an element, and I like
he has
this.
a mean
He's
streak.
got some
Yes.
nasty in him.
Which is, but that's what you have to have one. We talk a lot about Akeem today. Akeem had a damn mean
yeah.
streak.
Yeah.
Kareem punched people regularly. I
love it.
People thought one of the problems for Wilt was he wasn't mean enough, that he was gentle giant. But I do think that as these playoffs go on, teams are going to try to get him to lose his temper.
absolutely.
And I think OKC is.
I would if I was going against him.
And
That's
OKC
one of your only
is
hopes.
uniquely situated to try to get him to lose his temper. And so I had the exact same thought process as you, Brew, which is that shouldn't be a flagrant, but it could be. And I did wonder, because we're only a week or so removed from the elbow, has he lost benefit of the doubt? And a flagrant there would have been, I think, devastating for them. Because when you try to block as many shots as he does, you can get an accidental flagrant. Flagrant doesn't always mean intent. Sometimes it can just be.
Like 9 guys were getting slapped in the face every 10 minutes. Like, we got to review this.
And those were just basketball plays.
Correct, but you can get a flagrant for that. So that's where he has to modulate a bit. But I mean, fair is fair. I mean, it was one of the most special performances in the NBA this decade for sure, and one of the best games in the NBA this decade.
To quickly answer your question, obviously the potential is GOAT. We'll see, it's a long way to go, but he has that potential. I don't even think he has his man body yet. If he gets, let's say he grows out like Giannis, it'll be over. I mean, it already may be over, but it'll just be like, how you going to
And I don't even think he has to get quite to Giannis.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just an extra 15
But
pounds.
he looks like he's going to keep
growing.
Just a little bit bigger. But yeah, I think this is probably none of us, I'm not even that old to see Wilt, but this is probably what it felt like to see Wilt Chamberlain. Like, oh my, like what in the world is this?
Yeah.
And he didn't have, like you said, the dog and the mean streak to just want to win every championship. And so he's almost like a mix of Wilt
This
and
was your
Russell.
other tweet.
Yeah.
Is that what? I mean, the defense of Russell, the offense of Wilt.
Pretty good.
With the dog competitiveness.
All
of
right, to
Russell.
the Thunder side, SGA got the MVP. He also only got 24 points. Here he was after the game.
We knew it was going to be a dogfight. We just got to be better. Me in particular have to play better, especially against a team of this caliber. Nothing more than that.
Russell.
All right, this is at 5:30 left in the game. He only had 12 points. He was 3 for 14. He only had gone to the line, free throws going twice to the line.
Yeah.
What do you make of Shea's night?
The playoff whistle doesn't favor him. And I think it is, and I said this a couple weeks ago, and in the meantime, I've said he's one of the 10 greatest guards ever. I did that yesterday. I said right now I have him 9th, right behind D. Wade, pending these playoffs. I stand by that because I listen, you don't grift your way into 55% shooting, 32 points per game. But you might grift your way up from 27 points per game and 51% shooting up, the couple extra percentage points, the couple extra points might be because of the histrionics and the duping of the officials. And in these playoff games, when we have seen he doesn't get the calls early, then it really does come down to, is his shot falling? And listen, I think he could play the exact same style, get the exact same lack of calls or whatever in game 2 and score 35 points. I think he is a skilled enough and brilliant enough player that it's not as if that's the only way he is going to be successful. But it is, in my opinion, the biggest reason he moves from great, successful, awesome player to unstoppable. And what he has been in the regular season is literally unstoppable.
Yes.
He broke Wilt's record for 20-point games, and he was about to have his 5th playoff game in the last 2 years without hitting 20 until the overtimes and the flurry at the end. And you can also see, like regular season, postseason, bad efficiency games, it only happens, it's been a third of the time these playoffs versus 1 in 21.
So those are the two Lakers games, and
I think it was one Portland game. Maybe I'm wrong.
No,
I thought, but I'm not sure. I'm sorry, one Phoenix game, but I could be wrong. It's certainly last night one Laker game and one other game, and so it's one in each round.
The first Phoenix game.
Yes, because then after that he had a 15 of 18 or whatever it was. And I also want to add one other thing, Brew, quickly. I thought he made the second worst play of the night for his team in a critical spot, which it's a minute left, it's a tie game, you have a 2-on-1 and Caruso's there.
Yep.
And I don't know why he didn't give it to him. I really don't.
You wonder
just one-on-one.
But Caruso has 1-on-0. Caruso has 1-on-0. And Caruso's cooking.
He can take that shot. I mean, I don't.
You didn't think that was a bad? I thought that was a bad play.
He just kicks it ahead. Caruso gets a layup.
Oh, you're the MVP. It's
like
one-on-one.
there it is, right there.
And it's a layup.
He can do that in his sleep.
Well, he didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
and Castle's a great defender.
Yes. So
I tend to agree with that play. I remember I was like, man, he should have gave that up. I don't know if he did it because he knew he didn't have a lot of points. I hate to put that on him, but I don't know why he didn't do it.
And he was the best player in the world 24 hours ago.
Look, he is awesome.
Awesome.
There's no question about it. You had the ranks, and the thing about Shea, and I think if you look historically, he's gotten just about as many free throws in the playoffs as he does in the regular season. But all those guys we talked about yesterday, all-time great guards, and Wade included, they were like attack dogs. And, I mean, Wade didn't have a great jump shot, but he was going to the rim. Now, he never faced a 7'5" guy. But, yeah, Shea is – if you have time to plan for Shea – you know he's going to do almost all his damage in the mid-range and at the foul line. He's a good three-point shooter, become a really good three-point shooter, but doesn't shoot a ton of threes. Is not what you, like some fantastic finisher, certainly not dunking over people. And in today's NBA, in the regular season especially, teams don't give you any shot. But they'd rather, if they have to pick a shot for you to take, it's a mid-range jump shot. They want to run you off the three-point line, keep you out of the paint. And so he's smart for like, okay, I'm going to excel in this mid-range. In the playoffs with more time to plan for you and prepare for you, they're really not giving up anything. So I think that's a little bit of the struggle. And also last night, I mean, he had 12 assists. That speaks to the fact that they were loading up on him, making somebody else beat you, and Caruso almost did. So I give him credit for dishing. He only had 4 turnovers in 51 minutes. You can live with that. But he's going to have to, like I said earlier, they're going to have to just attack Wemby. If Wemby blocks 10 to 15 shots, so be it. Maybe you get him in some foul trouble, but they have got to
And maybe
attack.
You wear him out a little.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't have as much energy
You
on
can't
offense.
just, I mean, they were completely avoiding the paint when he was in there.
Secret winner. J.J. Redick and Nick Wright. Like you called that of like them like just blitzing
I did wonder
SGA and seeing like, all right, have someone else. SGA is going to beat you to the tune of, like, are they one of the best teams of all time? How about just any other guy? Let J-Dub in his first game back.
And he
get
played
26.
well, J-Dub.
Sure.
Yep.
And Caruso had the game of his life. Can I add one other small thing? Dusty, give us 1 minute here. I know this has become pretty commonplace. Actually, 7 of the last, 12 MVP awards given out, this has applied to the recipient of them. Mm-hmm. But it will never sit, and maybe this is a little like Luka protectionism, I guess, maybe even. It will never sit right with me when the guy who won the MVP of the league is taken out for defensive purposes on the biggest play of the game. And
he's not a bad defender.
No. Listen, but because it happened to Steph, it would happen to Joker. That's why I said, and now it happened to Shea with 3 seconds left. He is obviously not a bad defender. But I do think at times when we talk about his standing in the league and all-time stuff, his defense gets elevated a bit because his team is so great defensively. Because Mark Daigneault, who's a very, very good coach, with 3 seconds left in the game said, I want to have 2 bigs. Okay, so Shea's not one of those. And 3 perimeter defenders on the court. Shea, you're not one of my 3 best.
And they do have some great
defenders. Kaysen Wallace is
Caruso.
Do you think that is a consequence of the Thunder being so deep?
Yeah, they're so
that
deep
maybe some teams don't have a defender as better than Shea on the bench?
I think most teams.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think most teams don't have 5. I think for maybe every team in the league, other than his own team, he would be one of those guys out there. But so it's not so much an indictment that he's not out there as much as when we are assigning him a disproportionate credit for the great Thunder defense. When we're seeing his own coach say he's not in that situation, not one of our 5 best defenders.
Thunder still favored in the city.
Barely.
In the series. Should they be? That's next on FS1, the Fox Sports channel.
Espresso Wilds have.
Yeah, I know. I'm all fired up. Ooh.
I
thought I looked good.
Yeah. KW, you always look good.
IndyCar practice yesterday. First things first at the Indy 500 Thursday. We're flying out tomorrow. Nice early show day.
Yeah.
Hop on the plane. Brew, I don't think we're getting those Fox Sports jumpsuits.
Those are fresh.
See, I think you have to see. I'm gonna talk to Joseph Newgarden and get that shell outfit. We're actually gonna look kind of coordinated.
He's gonna get you
I gotta call his people. I gotta call the crew.
So Thursday, show from the track. Friday, show from the track. Friday night, me, Wilds and Hubs, unsanctioned meet and greet at the Horseshoe Casino. You gotta go. You gotta go team building, bro.
I'm not going to a meet and greet.
You don't want to meet our fans. You don't want to meet our fans.
I'm not doing a meet.
I'm a man of the people. I'll be there.
What time does the meet and greet start?
I don't know. Call it 7:30. Watch the game together. Us with the people. Watch some Spurs Timberwolves.
I'll watch some Spurs.
Play some games of chance.
I don't want to play games.
Have a few cocktails.
Let's go back.
See the good
It's going to be
people in
great.
Indiana.
It's going to be an excellent. Caitlin Clark, Grand Marshal.
I know, and she might be on the show. Her name was on a list.
Oh, that'd be great.
She might be on the show.
Let's get her on.
It's on the board.
I don't think she's going to be.
We went to the same high school.
She could be on the board.
We'll call the class president then.
Yeah.
Okay.
The alumni
was there when I was there.
Back to Oklahoma. Oklahoma City. Thunder are still favored to win this series despite dropping game 1 and despite the fact the Spurs won 5 of the last 6 matchups. Is anyone surprised the Thunder are still the fave?
If you're not a gambler, -115, -105 equates to about 52-48. Okay. So it is. They are a weighted coin flip, but still the slight favorite.
I'm not surprised. I just think it's clearly wrong. Clearly wrong. Nick, as I was watching that game for the first 43 minutes, and that's when the Spurs held anywhere from 3 to 10 or 11 point lead, right? The overwhelming thought in my mind was.
I totally agree with this.
They're just better.
Yes.
They're better. Right now, to their credit, OKC fought back and obviously had a chance to win and made it interesting. But they have now played 6 times this season. They've won 5. And that is in the head of the Thunder as well. I mean, you keep trying to beat this team and you keep losing, whether it's in San Antonio, Las Vegas, or Oklahoma City. They keep beating us. And the advantages OKC has, and they are a great team, but the advantages they have throughout the season, throughout the league, size, Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren, that's not an advantage against the Spurs. You end up taking your big man Hartenstein out. Depth is about even. I mean, they didn't have De'Aaron Fox last night. The Carter Bryant is a good player. The rookie, he is a good player. They go 9 deep. They went 9 deep last night without De'Aaron Fox.
Harrison Barnes, a little quick cameo.
But I trust
if he's
Harrison.
Your ninth man, that's fine.
If I got to throw Harrison Barnes out there, I trust him. Defensively, obviously, they're a great defensive team. Even though they rated higher than San Antonio, I would say just because of Wemby, they're a better defensive team, San Antonio. And then shooting, OKC has shot 38% from 3 in the playoffs. San Antonio, 37%. So that's kind of a wash. Mm-hmm. So what's the advantage? And Nick, I said this during the season when they were beating them. They both are similar. They go deep. They got waves of defensive guards and 3 guards that can hit threes just coming at you. But the difference is the majority of the Spurs perimeter guys that come at you were freaking blue chippers.
Drew loves
and I'm just
loves my high school football take.
I mean, I'm just saying, look. No, they got Dylan Harper was the 3rd best player in his high school class.
I love it.
De'Aaron Fox was in the top 10.
Yes.
And so was Stephon Castle.
Yes.
They have one. Caruso was 80th, 81st. Dort was 96th.
It's 31.
Cason Wallace is top 10. I'm just saying.
This take started out strong.
I love
it. Went off the rails.
But hold on.
Jalen 31 points. What are you like?
Is he going to do it consistently?
Well, I don't know what he did when he was 17.
Is Alex Caruso as good as Stephon Castle?
No, but he scored 31 points. I'm just saying.
That's one game. I'm talking about a series.
I'm
telling you, the Spurs, in addition to Wemby.
I love this take.
Dylan Harper is going to be a star.
Yes.
If not a superstar.
Yes.
Stephon Castle, same thing. De'Aaron Fox, already a star. And they just beat him without De'Aaron Fox.
Chet was one of the best players.
Chet
in
was.
all of America.
That is true.
No, he was.
But to Bruce's point,
it just means something.
Listen, I care about this stuff.
It's just the talent.
Listen, you guys make fun of me when I talk about Gatorade All-American.
Oh,
I care about this
Flag
stuff.
football championships in elementary.
This is high school. Dylan Harper is 2 years out of high school. I mean, really. Yeah. He's a blue chip talent.
But to your point, Brew, the best 4 players on the Spurs, if Miles doesn't want us to go all the way back to high school, were all top 5 picks of the draft. Yep. Wemby was the number 1 pick. Dylan Harper was the number 2 pick. Castle was 4, and I think Fox was 5. And so, they were all, they kept that up. So I agree with you on the raw talent point. I also do want to say this. I think both fan bases this morning can feel like, man, we can play so much better. And that's why I think that Vegas went into this series saying the Thunder are the considerable favorites. And so if they are now saying essentially the Spurs have a game in hand, but we still think the Thunder are better, that's why you get a line like this. And so if you're the Spurs, you are saying, man, we won the game. De'Aaron Fox did not play. Stephon Castle had the quietest 11 turnovers I've ever seen. I couldn't believe.
I agree with that.
I was locked into the game.
I was furious.
Okay, so
I was furious a handful of times, but 11 shots.
I didn't.
11 did shots.
So it was. Listen, I wasn't on Twitter for the vast majority of the game. I wasn't checking the box score. I was just watching. And when I heard Tirico say that's Castle's 11th turnover, I was like, what?
Because he kept jumping in the air for a few of them.
Yeah.
I went back and watched them before the show. It wasn't a real 11. There were some loose balls that he grabbed.
And he
grabbed one at right before it was about he saved the ball right before and he tossed it back.
Right.
So it was a real 7 or 8.
Okay,
yeah,
but if you're the Spurs, no De'Aaron Fox, Castle has 11 turnovers, and Alex Caruso has the game of his life. It's okay, all of those over a long series favor us.
Right.
If you're the Thunder, you say that's the worst SGA is going to play, and the worst Chet's going to play, and the worst A.J. Mitchell's going to play, and they needed a 30-footer from Wemby for us not to win. So I do under your point, Brew. A lot of and this is totally legitimate, but a lot of the faith that the Spurs are just flatly better is because of the regular season. To me, not last night. Like last night,
if last night was like the only.
If last night was the first time you'd seen them, you'd say
season.
these two teams are dead even.
It's a lot of the regular season.
I know I'm in charge of vibes.
I have to save you, buddy. You still have a red thing on your.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah,
I thought I had my.
No, I can't get anything out of your teeth, but that's still.
I've got a ray in my teeth.
No, it's the thing from your lunch, but don't worry about it.
I'm the king of vibes on the show. I manage the vibe meter. Did Wemby's shots, some of those dunks, the Stephon Castle dunk,
Castle dunk was sick.
that really took the air out of the building, combined with the Thunder's body language at the end of the game, it felt to me like the opposite. I always use like the Cam Newton, like with his towel, he's like, yeah, I'm about to go in and win the game.
Yeah.
Was there an element of like, ooh, got your soul a little bit?
Yes. I said yesterday, must win for the Thunder. I mean, you've been rested. You got your MVP award before the game. You know this team is good, so you're as high as you can be for the game. And they beat you, and they led the whole way.
That's what I think. I don't think they're like, yeah, we're good.
So
and they got Nick. They forced. They had 23 turnovers. The Spurs and the Thunder got 28 points from it. That's what they want to do.
Of course.
They also get long rebounds and get out and run. They were able to run. And they still couldn't win. They shot 38% from three. The Spurs shot 30% from three. They still couldn't beat them. And the Spurs, arguably, still, at this point, second best player didn't even play. I mean, and De'Aaron Fox doesn't turn the ball over very much. So that's going to change once he's back in the lineup.
I also think, as great as he was, I think it is very likely that no matter how long this series goes, that was the best game we get from Wemby and the best game we get from Dylan Harper. And we haven't mentioned Dylan Harper yet, who as seven steals as a 20-year-old in his first, he was unreal. And so that, again, just to kind of balance the scales a bit, I understood your point going into the game about how important it was for OKC. During the waning moments of the game, I felt like that had flipped to where it went from, oh my God, this would have been a devastating loss for San Antonio. Where, because they had controlled 44 minutes of it, to not come away with the win. And I don't know how much of the post-game body language was defeat versus total physical exhaustion. Double overtime game where those...
But don't you think, they've lost 5 of 6.
No, I think that matters.
No,
I think that matters. I think that matters.
Dusty, what'd you say,
Can
bud?
we do Chet?
We got to do
or
Chet.
no?
We got to do Chet?
Can we?
Dust?
Yeah.
Dust is giving
Dust
up.
is just like...
Dust is like, fine. We got berets on the show. Chet had a clutch block to send the game into overtime, and he kept Wemby away from the basket that one time so Shea could get a layup. And he had 8 points, and he also got dunked on a few times.
That's
about
your
it.
guy, Kato.
No, I'm off.
You're really
Chet bandwagon.
off. Now you're really off.
Once he broke out the coffee table books,
I told you that's what it was. Yeah.
Your reaction to Chet's game.
Listen, I don't think it's fair to Chet that Wemby hates him. But he hates him. And Danny and I were talking about this before the show, and so I think Danny's got, a kind of more fully formed take on this about what Chet needs to do. But what it reminds me of, and I'm not saying this at all because Chet happens to be a white guy, but do you remember Larry Bird when he was like, I would see the other team would put a white guy guarding me, and it would make me mad.
Yeah.
I feel like Wemby sees Chet on the court trying to guard him, and it makes him mad.
Tall, skinny
Guy. He's like, you thought you were me, but I'm me. And I don't think, and Chet, I do not know that anybody in the world can guard Wemby one-on-one. I do know that one of the people who's supposed to be able to do the best job at it is Chet.
Yeah.
And Mark Daigneault was like, Caruso, do it. And that is really, really damning for the Thunder in this series and damning for Chet. There are big picture conversations to be had if this series goes the way Brew is saying it's going, about a take the nuclear take I had back in January when the Thunder were getting beat up by the Spurs, and I was like, I wonder if the Thunder ring Milwaukee's phone about Giannis.
No, that makes
And
that makes
if
sense.
I'm just telling you right, if this, I think
continues.
this series is going to go 7 games. I think it's going to be a great series, and I think Thunder can obviously still win. But if it's a lot of Chet getting bullied and Wemby just annihilating them,
Well, that's very interesting.
and so it's just down the road.
I think the reason Wemby dislikes Chet is because Chet was supposed to be Wemby. Like I watched Chet in high school. He was a 7-foot point guard, handling the rock, shoot. Like he was like astonishing to watch until you saw Wemby. And so I think Wemby looks at it like, oh, this guy was supposed to be me.
And they've been playing since they were teenagers.
He's like
too.
the competition. And I think that the hatred goes one way. Like I'm other shows we're talking about, oh, there's bad blood. They don't like each other. I think Chet would be fine having dinner with Wemby. Like he would love to just hang out. I don't think he has any beef with Wemby. Yeah. It is all one-sided.
Which does not work.
I think Wemby's just like, look, I'm trying to get something and you're in my way.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't care about you. But look, there is some strategy to having Chet not guard Wemby. Because even and I wish we could show it, I should have asked for it, but maybe they'll be able to. The block at the end of regulation, when Chet blocked Wemby's shot, Cason Wallace was guarding
and then
Wemby.
Chet came over.
And Chet so when Chet is not guarding Wemby, he's able to roam and kind of come from the weak side and block shots, similar to what they do with Wemby sometimes. That said, I do think the way they posted Wemby or had him close to the basket, he won't do. I would put Chet on him and think, okay, they're not going to post him as much if Chet's on him just because he's close to his size. And if Wemby beats me hitting 7 of 10 threes, so be it. But I keep him out on the perimeter because as much as I think he's a good three-point shooter, when he shoots threes, generally he's letting them off the hook because he got such an advantage in size. So I think Chet needs to go to them and be like, look, I want him.
Okay. Weird plays. Red Sox beat the Royals
What if Chet
next.
does not want him?
Yeah. That's on the board.
What if Chet wants absolutely nothing to do with it?
Back in OKC. Shot that made me scream, wake up the dogs. Spurs down 3, 27 seconds left, 28 feet out. Wemby ties the game at 108. Here was Dylan Harper's take on this.
Confidence through the roof. I was stunned a little bit. But once the ball went up, I'm like, oh, that's going in. It's kind of just who he is. I mean, he's one of a kind.
For your reaction to this deep three.
Look, I'll admit, if he had missed it, I'd have been upset. I'd have been like, man, that's a bad shot. And I didn't think that at the moment. When he shoots, I think he's a really good shooter.
Yeah.
And I've said that throughout the season. I know his percentage this year is only 35%, but I think he's a good, his form is good, his rhythm is good. He's an 83% free throw shooter for his career, 82%, 85%, 86% in these playoffs. So he's a good shooter. So when he shoots a three, I don't think, oh, that's a terrible shot. Now, I do think a lot of times you're letting him off the hook because you have such an advantage inside. But I did not think, oh, my gosh, what's he doing? I was just like, he can shoot it, and wow, he hit that. So, I mean, it was a phenomenal shot.
Did you like the moxie of it?
You can't help but like this shot was so great that if Steph Curry, the best shooter ever, hit this exact same shot, we'd be going crazy. Well, in the regular season, but I'm saying and I don't think Steph's was that deep. Honestly, it was a little closer to the hash on the sideline.
Oh, here it is.
He's a little more on the sideline. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think it's like almost the exact same spot.
He might be a little deeper actually, but
I like that blue.
The fact is, when Steph hit that, or if he hit it in the playoffs or whatever, it's like, oh my gosh, and we do that for the best shooter ever. That's the type of shot he just hit. So I think he's a really good shooter.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
And you look, he just watched Shea get the MVP. The game is in the balance. If he misses that, it's probably the game over. It's not the last shot, but it's certainly a pivotal shot. And you liked the fact that he took the ball up, said, you know what, I'm the best. I'm not going to just pass the ball to maybe Champagnie.
I think there are times you want. I think you got to eat that take now, right?
What?
Wait, I don't get what you're saying.
I wanted him to take the ball up the court and take the last shot.
Game one.
Right,
But he decided to pass it to him. You're like, that's the right shot. That's the savvy move.
Shot.
He was exhausted at the end of the game.
No,
and
no,
now
I didn't
exactly
say he was
how what I
exhausted.
wanted to happen happened, and then you're trying to have it both ways.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying, I think you are.
No,
because your general takeaway from that was, he don't want the big moment. He's scared. This clearly showed he's not scared of the
I
moment.
don't think KW, to be fair, I don't think KW's takeaway was he's scared.
I thought
KW's takeaway was, I want him to take that shot.
Yeah, I didn't think he was scared.
And now he is taking
I thought that was your take. You were kind of saying that. Like,
I wasn't saying he's scared.
He got rid of it like a hot potato. He didn't
Well,
want
that's
it.
true. He did hot potato the ball. I wanted him to take the last shot, and the fact that he did is like,
this wasn't the last shot, but I think when you're a shooter, and I consider he's a shooter, you feel a rhythm. There are times you're coming up the court on the dribble. You catch it. I think he felt a rhythm.
Listen, we oddly referenced that Steph shot on yesterday's show. We were talking about Shea and moments and not having it. That Steph shot to me, I was living in. I don't even think I was living in Houston. I was living in LA, visiting my wife and family in Houston. My wife and I were driving to a nightclub. She was driving, and I was watching that game on my phone because I was watching the game. And I remember where I was when Steph hit this shot. And it really did feel like we didn't know that they were not going to win the title that year. Right. It felt like that was even more than the championship, the line of demarcation.
That was in the playoff?
No, that was
regular
the
season game.
Tail end of the regular season of the 73-win season, Steph's unanimous MVP season. As wild and memorable and awesome as that shot is, what Wemby has going for him is, forget even the fact that it's playoffs, not playoffs. Steph, time's winding down. So Steph is going to end up taking some type of shot, and he's deciding in real time. Right. A, it's a shot that he takes, and B, he's deciding in real time. I can get a little closer, and it's contested. Correct as well. I can get a little closer, and it's contested. Or I can pull from here. For Wemby, who had not made a three all game,
had only taken one.
Right, had only taken one, and there's plenty of time. There's 30 seconds left. With that said, if he misses it, they're like 5% to win. Assuming OKC gets the defensive rebound, I thought it was a remarkable moment.
Brilliant.
And
that's just feeling a rhythm. Yeah.
Note from Kurt Goldsberry: the NBA tracking that he uses, the more advanced, had it at 32.3 feet, which is the longest make of Wemby's career.
Yeah, I saw that. I think because the NBA judges it from the rim, he's probably judging it from the baseline. Yeah, that's 32 feet. Yeah.
Live from New York is a show that was right about Wemby taking the last shot, not passing the ball to Champagnie.
He's not even the one who passed it to Champagnie. He passed it back to Dylan Harper.
That's what Dylan Harper.
42% three-point shooter, Julian Champagnie. New York's own, I believe.
A second hour of First Things First. Today, can SGA take this series back from Wemby? We discussed. Meanwhile, game one in the East, are we expecting the Cavs to get blown out? The Knicks are literally the hottest team in NBA playoff history. Yeah. And it's not an exaggeration. But right now, a lot of people are wondering, Wilds, are you going to do the segment that you promised yesterday about the NFL schedule?
I am curious.
Called, Man, I'm going to watch that. We decided to delay.
We did.
Me and Hubs, thank you. Decision makers on the show. Hubs and I decided to delay. Man, I'm going to watch that. Because Wemby had such a strong performance. Next week, instead of King of the Hill, we will debut. Man, I'm going to watch that. But right now,
true?
It was never going to be instead of.
In addition to King of the Hill, we'll debut. Man, I'm going to watch that.
Here's the thing. I just want you to understand something real quick. Once you debut it,
Debut what?
You gotta do it every week.
Watch that.
No. Man, I'm going to watch that.
It then becomes, until Mahomes Mountain starts up, the Tuesday staple.
That's why I'm saying.
Man, I'm going to watch that.
It's not a one-off.
That's
Because you
why-
like
Well,
to,
that was
you
a
like to
one-off
shoot arrows.
segment. Man,
no,
I'm gonna
you
watch
like
that.
to
I'm
shoot
thinking it's not
arrows.
gonna happen.
Exactly.
Man, I'm
but
gonna
you
watch
don't
that.
want to. You
I
don't
don't
want to
think,
take
man, I'm
on
gonna
the
watch that
responsibility. You think because you have weird and wonderful winners and losers,
dare you.
which also might as well be called Ramsey's workday, that you're up for the challenge. But
How dare you?
I'm just letting you know.
Okay. Well, it's time now for the
We're behind
friendliest
the
segment.
It's not friendly right now.
in all of sports. King of the Hill. Let's find out where Kelly Olynyk lands.
Look at him.
I forgot he was on the team, but
He is actually, yes.
Bottom of the hill. De'Aaron Fox stays where he is because he didn't play. But I didn't put him injured and eligible because he's definitely going to go back.
When I saw he wasn't playing, I was like,
a little
oh,
nervous.
man.
Yeah.
I was definitely.
AJ Mitchell drops a bit. Man, we understand that J-Dub was going to take his minutes. I didn't think J-Dub was going to take all his juice. I don't know what happened there. Josh Hart, welcome to the Hill. Only 4 teams. Josh Hart's played well. Devin Vassell, welcome to the Hill. Cason Wallace, crunch time defender for the Thunder.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Champagny, who is an oddly polarizing person on this show.
I like hate Shin.
No, I don't.
You think he never deserves to take a shot. 5th row, Caruso moves up. Chet moves down. Again, keep in mind, hard to move down because we had a lot of guys. All the Timberwolves are gone. All the different teams, all the Pistons are gone. So
He must have really been bad.
he must have really been bad. He was, he was bad and also seemed like he was getting bullied a bit.
Yeah.
He feels scared of women.
You never want to feel bad for a guy.
Yeah, and
Going
I
in.
thought
He got a man.
he did, and it's the shame of it is he had maybe the single best moment of his NBA career at the end of regulation. The block on Wemby at the end of regulation, if they go on to win the game, it's like, all right, you got outplayed, but who cares? You stepped up when it mattered. Then Wemby hit a 30-footer and ran away in overtime. Stephon Castle moves up. I understand he had 11 turnovers. He was good in round 2. And I think, aside from the 11 turnovers, fine. Mikal Bridges, James Harden was a tough one. Let me say this. We have not done the Hill since he had the Game 5 performance, which was a really good performance. He had 30 points in a huge game for the Cavs in round 2, Game 5. Now, Game 6 and 7, not quite so good, but again, there's movement on the Hill. Row 4, everybody moved up. J-Dub, welcome back. I was stunned how good he looked.
Yeah.
There was seemingly no rust, and there were a number of times on fast breaks where I'm like, ooh, don't sprint yet, J-Dub, like on the hamstring, but it seemed like he was fine.
You know what, though?
Tell me.
Especially when he first went in and he scored a bunch of points right away, Wemby was on the bench, and he was attacking that paint, which you wonder, they could keep it that way and let him run that second unit and really put up a lot of points.
OG expect to be back tonight, so he's back on the Hill. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, after their awesome Game 7s, they move up. Row 7. Cat stays where he is. He's been off for a week. Donovan, after an awesome Game 7, moves up. And Dylan Harper, 20-year-old rookie, second overall pick, who in his first conference finals game ever had, what did he have, Brew? 24-11 with 7 steals? Is that right? The 24, 11 rebounds, 7 steals.
That was
just a phenomenal game by him. Row 2. Brunson, through no fault of his own, moves down. I didn't want to move Shea down off one bad game. I also didn't think I could argue any of the 3 guys beneath him deserved to be ahead of him. But he's teetering. And the only reason Brunson moved down after he's been leading the team that's on one of the hottest stretches in playoff history is because Victor Wembanyama had a 40-20 along with a 30-foot 3 to force double overtime. He is atop the Hill that I still enjoy doing, and Brew, I think the audience likes. I know KW thinks it's a waste of everyone's time.
No, I don't.
Brew, your thoughts?
I think it's a good Hill.
Thanks, buddy.
And again, I know it's a rich tapestry.
Rich tapestry.
Right? So I wasn't just basing it off last night's game. And he wasn't bad. Like you said, it was the quietest 11 turnovers we've seen. I would move Castle up. He's a great player. Like, his defense on Shea and just in general, he's got great defense. Call me the moat because I'm defending the castle.
I don't hate that one.
You don't hate that?
I don't hate that. I don't know why, but that one.
hate it.
I think call me the moat.
The moat. Okay.
Just keep
Dusty's
going,
back.
It's like the boat, the goat,
Dusty's
the moat.
clearly
Yeah,
back.
Dusty is back. Yeah.
But
ahead.
Castle, look, he's been their second leading scorer in the playoffs.
Yeah.
19.7 points a game. Leads them in assists. Isn't like a turnover machine, generally speaking.
No.
Last night he was in a tough position. You are facing a tenacious defense, and your point guard, who's a veteran as well, is out. Obviously, 11 turnovers is too many, especially against a team like that, which gets out and runs. But he gaveth to them, and he tooketh away with the dunks and things like that. Look, and I think you agree that Castle and Harper.
Well, we're going to talk more about that in a
stars.
minute. I think he's been excellent. And, honestly, prior to last night, I might have said I thought he's going to be long-term their second best player. I might now have downgraded him.
I think it's arguable, though. It's a good. Yeah.
But he is a better pro than I thought he would be. I thought he'd be solid. I didn't think he would be potentially a star. He is potentially a star. The 11 turnovers is not great. Go ahead, KW.
Look, the plan was SGA can't beat us. SGA has beaten every team in the entire league. Let's make someone else beat us. How about, I don't know, a guy on the bench, Alex Caruso. Let's let him hit some threes, get some buckets, but almost backfired. Spurs game plan accidentally put Caruso into the flow state. Oh, okay. I'm big on the flow. We used to call it
fan whose hand was in the camera throughout the first.
That was the. I don't know. That was the wide angle shot for a while because the Thunder didn't score, and then we finally zoomed in. But regardless, I don't want to get into the directing of it. Caruso accidentally got into the flow state. Not for him, but I think the Spurs like, we wanted him to beat us, but now he's starting to beat us. 31 points, shot 58%, was 8 for 14 from three. It's the most threes made by any player this postseason. Then he started to get steals and blocks.
Well, he had the game-saving block at the end of overtime.
That could. I know Chet's was more dramatic.
Yeah.
But Castle there was a great play. Castle was he had beaten the Thunder, and that was a good play design.
Yeah.
Caruso saved the game there. Also guarded Wemby.
Yeah.
We've seen him guard Joker and be effective.
He's
really
strong,
good at it. But how strong? He's stronger than Joker too.
I don't know.
He's very effective
Not
at
strong,
this.
but you
by the
get
way,
up under, you get
this
in
was
the
a
guy's
smooth-
leg.
yeah,
I mean,
was a
he
great
also
play.
stepped out. I was very surprised.
Did he step out there?
Yeah, he did. He landed out of bounds. The Spurs coach, Mitch Johnson, didn't challenge it. But regardless, it ended up not mattering. There was the block you were talking about. Here is the thing on that before we get to our other topic here. I think Caruso getting off was less about how the Thunder or how the Spurs were guarding SGA and more about how the Spurs were deploying Wemby. Because what I saw a lot of that was Wemby was guarding Caruso, and they were like, we'd rather have you roam.
Correct.
And it take care of. So it was less that they were sending doubles. I know they were sending doubles at SGA, but a lot of it
when
was
SGA got into a closer, like, well, I'm not leaving.
Yes, and so just a lot of that was, and I do think the Spurs are not going to be cowed by his 30 points. I think when you saw that graphic that the Thunder were like 16 of 50 with Wemby on the floor and 10 of 16 with him off the floor. They showed it late in the fourth quarter. A lot of that is because of how they were deploying Wemby, letting him not guard Caruso and then erase everything else. And I think they're going to say, Alex, if you can go 8 of 14 from 3 every game, we'll deal with it.
Which he won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you played great. All right, combined production last night. We're talking about the two big threes. Wemby, Castle, and Harper had 82 points, 41 rebounds, 20 assists. They shot 46%. SGA, Chet, and Jalen, who I think people thought were the better of the big three, had only 58 points, 18 rebounds, which is absurd, 15 assists, and they only shot 36%. Would you rather have the Spurs big three or the Thunder's big three? Is this question, are we doing it for the series or moving forward? What's our scope here?
I think it's moving forward.
Okay.
But I also want to add a wrinkle to it.
Okay.
Because I think there is a chance right now, especially as we're in the afterglow of that performance last night, that people's answer would be Wemby plus any two random guys. I will take that as my big three over anybody else. Right. And I would, and so obviously, I don't know if it's obvious to the audience, but I would rather have Wemby, Harper, and Castle than Shea, J-Dub, and Chet. Mm-hmm. And assuming, Brew, you agree with me, I want to throw a slightly different question at you.
I do agree.
If you take out the best guy, Wemby and SGA are not there. Who do you think is the better second and third moving forward? Harper and Castle or Chet and J-Dub? Like if you remove the Wemby, right now Wemby has a huge edge over Shea. Maybe it seems unfair because Shea just won a second straight MVP, but that's how we all feel. Because even if you remove the Wemby-Shea component, I think moving forward, I am more bullish on Harper and Castle than I am on Chet and J-Dub.
Interesting.
Go ahead.
Well, I love Stephon Castle. He's a UConn guy. I was happy that he ended up on the Spurs. Just to play devil's advocate, his assists to Wemby are not, I think other people could do that. It was a lot of like lobs. The fact that, and he said this himself, he's allowed to be an overly aggressive defender because Wemby can erase everything. So wow, he plays SGA better than anybody. Right. It's like, okay, well, he can gamble, and he knows that SGA is not going to just seamlessly attack the rim. That's my only thing. Like, how much does Wemby's production support and impact those guys?
I think that's a fair point because even offensively, and you could talk about the roll gravity and the corner threes
Love roll gravity.
But just beyond that, you have to pay so much attention to him that it does open things up for those other guys. But I tend to agree with Nick. Now, look, right now, the Spurs' big three is Wemby, Castle, and Fox. That's like their big three. Mm-hmm. Fox probably is short for the Spurs, right? He'll only be there another year or
That'd
two.
be a bummer for him because remember, he specifically asked to be traded out of Sacramento to go to the Spurs. That was the only play he wanted to play with Wemby. That's where he wanted to go.
Look, he could get his ring with, and who knows? I'm just looking at the money. Yeah. You're obviously going to end up paying Wemby and then these two. So Fox is a max guy himself. So they're going to have to do some stuff in the future. Hopefully he gets a ring this year. But I would tend to go, I think Castle and Harper, you're right, they benefit from Wemby, but I think those are two future stars, if not superstars. Wow. At the very least, those two will be stars.
Can I also, Dust, I'll give you a second here. The Jalen jumper right before the Wemby three. This is maybe not exactly germane to this exact conversation, but I don't know when else we're going to be able to discuss it. Mm-hmm. I thought the Thunder had three head scratchers. Don't roll it yet, Dust. We talked about the Shea not kicking it up to Caruso early.
Yep.
In the first overtime, I thought when the Thunder had a 1-point lead, might have been three, it was about a minute left, A.J. Mitchell took a transition three that I really didn't understand. But the one play that was the most, come on, man, what are you doing? Was Jalen Williams with 35 seconds left and a full shot clock, up 3 points, having a zero pass, all dribble. Again, they're up 3 with 12 on the shot clock, and this is and I'm not trying to be results-oriented that he missed it by 4 feet on the other side of the backboard.
Yeah.
But if you score on this possession, you win the game.
That's right.
If you just, work some offense, you at least work the clock a little bit more. He played a really good game, and this isn't answering this isn't why I'm answering what I'm answering, but I thought this was, from a smart veteran player, a wild possession and sequence that then led immediately to this iconic Wemby moment. If they just run real offense, it very well might be 20 seconds left, Thunder up 5, and Wemby finishes the game on 29, and we're not talking about any of this. Mm-hmm. I didn't understand that play at all. At all. That's all.
I agree with that.
Okay, thanks, buddy.
That's it for King of the Hill. I thought it was great. It really was.
You know what?
I'm not joking. I
just
thought
a
it was
bad guy.
good. What are you talking about? I thought it was a good segment. We had a nice little conversation. You put some highlights in on it. I liked it.
This episode is brought to you by Perfect Bistro Cat Food. Cats, this ad is for you. Has your human ever called you picky, persnickety, choosy? If so, Perfect Bistro Cat Food is for you. With ingredients like wild-caught tuna and pasture-raised lamb, tantalizing textures, and delectable flavors that meet even the most discerning cat standards. You're not picky, you're just perfectionists. Perfect Bistro, mealtime perfection for every cat. Have your human visit perfectbistro.com.
Headed back to the NBA, Thunder were reluctant to challenge Wemby in the paint. SGA and Jalen Williams were asked about it after the game. Take a listen, bro.
You just got to be aggressive, also just be smart, I think, more than anything. He obviously is very big at the rim, but we still found cracks in it at times. We just got to be willing to work possessions and make sure we get the best shot.
How much does the specter of Wembanyama standing in there protecting the rim flash through your mind with every decision you make on what to do with the ball when you've got it?
A lot. He's like 8 feet.
Reaction, bro?
I don't like it. This is no misdirection. I don't mind Shay's. And Jalen is being honest. Obviously, it affects you. I just think he's being too deferential. And I'm combining that comment with what he said after I don't know if it was the third or fourth win the Spurs had over OKC in the regular season. And he was asked, why are they able to do things against you, make you struggle, whatever. Mm-hmm. He's like, well, they got this 7'5" guy. That's too deferential. You're competing with these guys. It comes off like you're almost surrendering. He's too tall. What are we supposed to do? And you gotta, even if in your mind you're thinking that and that's the reality, you gotta be like, look, we gotta beat this guy. He's in there, but we're gonna continue to do what we do and we know we can beat him. That's how you have to look at it. And so I think, like I said earlier, they have to attack Wembanyama. Just like Minnesota attacked. Now, it didn't work for Minnesota, but that's your best chance. Attack him. Don't get away from what you do totally. Because they were not attacking the rim when he was in there. They were just completely going away from it. And then as soon as he's out, they attacked, which was smart. But I'm just saying you have to be a little more aggressive in trying to look. You just see them. They keep dribbling out.
So, Basketball Reference has started to attempt to figure out how many blocks per game Wilt Chamberlain actually averaged.
Oh.
And this is loosely sourced. But right now on what they've done, I know they have a couple years done, and they're like, it looks like Wilt averaged around 11 blocks a game.
Are you serious?
I can't. But here's the reason I bring it up. They didn't win the title every year. They didn't make the finals every year. Right. That was at the time superhuman, who, despite the fact that it seems like he was averaging blocks that are in what Wemby did in Game 1 against the Timberwolves on a nightly basis, his team got beat a lot. And when Wemby had the 12 blocks, his team got beat. That was the only game in that series that Wemby finished that the Spurs lost. Mm-hmm. And this is now the second time that I've seen the Thunder, as Tabru said, be publicly deferential to San Antonio. I think it was, I should have had Dust Pull, it's my bad. After the third time the Spurs beat them, I think it was J-Dub, who's like, when
it
he
was definitely J-Dub.
Who said that they're just better than us.
Oh.
No, that's what I'm saying. After the third in the regular season.
I didn't. I knew he said they got a 7'5" guy.
No. So this is the.
I think that was Shea.
Okay, so again, my apologies. But one of their star guys was asked, what does it say that this team keeps beating you? And paraphrasing, he was like, well, it says they're better than us.
Yeah, I think it was Shea.
And I also am interested in, and this is one of the reasons I'm so excited for this series. This Game 1 felt a lot like the Thunder getting, and I know Wemby changes things, but the Thunder getting a taste of their own medicine and not dealing with it great. Because the Spurs were very physical defensively. There was one play late where it seemed like there could have been 6 fouls called, but they were all close, and there was a lot of just physical perimeter defense.
Like some of those rebounds,
yes.
replays, like everyone's just
everybody's getting hit, everybody's getting fouled. And I am really curious how the Thunder respond to this moment. Because we're gonna, if the Spurs win and if they win the title, we're going to do the same thing with the Spurs that we've done with all the last champions, but it'll be different this time because it's Wemby. This is now where the dynasty starts. But we are not far removed at all from the Thunder, this just being the beginning of the Thunder reign.
Oh, yeah.
And the Thunder, they are so well set up, and everyone else is screwed, and Presti is the greatest GM in the history of the world, and all those things might be gradiently true. But I am really curious how these next 24 hours go if for the first time since, in these last 2 years, if quietly in their own head they're like, I don't know that we're the better team.
5 of 6.
I mean, I was going to say that I think that already might be the case. Now, you're not going to admit that, but
no, that's what I'm saying. If that is the case, how they react to it. Because even when they were in a dogfight with Denver, I think they felt like we're better. And the Pacers, even though it went 7, I'm sure every single game they're like, man, we are better than these guys. And now they're meeting you with physicality. You don't seem to have an answer for their 7'5" guy. And they have the psychological edge at a moment, publicly and maybe also privately. I'm really fascinated to see how the Thunder punch back. I thought they punched back well within the game yesterday.
they did.
The fact that the Spurs dominated 44 minutes, and then the Thunder had a flurry at the end, and it looked like they were going to win a couple different times. And I'm also, one last thing I want to say about Wemby on this. The other reason to go at him is, and I can't prove this, I don't know if I'm right on this, I don't think he is as good offensively if he is consistently challenged defensively from an energy perspective. Now, yesterday he had an endless well in the second overtime, and maybe I'm just drawing that his worst offensive game was the 12-block game, and it's too small of a sample. But I would like to see if Wemby has the juice to have 12 points in, minutes 43 through 48 of his own playing time. If you've been going into his body, he's been trying to block shots, all of that. Instead, the Thunder kind of got the worst of both worlds. They got Wemby's amazing offense and the defensive deterrence without taking that much out of him.
Quick look ahead. Game 2 is tomorrow night. What are the chances, Brew, that SGA outplays Wemby for the rest of the series?
0.
0.
I expect him to have some
worrisome.
good offensive games, but even if he gets back to his normal offensive play, he's not going to have a fraction of the impact that Wemby has defensively. I mean, we just saw it. We're just talking about it. Wemby made them change their entire offensive approach. Wemby is a plus 66 against them in this season, in the 6 games they played this season. No one else in the series is even at plus 40. Like last night, it was like, I was thinking to myself, they really need to you can't do it. I was like, it was tongue in cheek, but he needs to play the whole game. Because every time they took him out,
you're right.
It was like, okay, they're going to make a run. And they pretty much did. And so there's no way Shea's going to have this impact because Wemby's not going to go average 12 points. He's going to get his 20 points on average, if not more. And defensively, he's going to wreck the whole game.
Go ahead if you want to do
No,
something.
see, I just wanted, based on that, like on the court, off the court. He was on the court, obviously, for 49 minutes, off the court for 9. The point differential on the court, for this is OKC based, so it's minus 16. But when he's off, they're
there
plus
it is.
9.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
So then,
SGA
all right, then
can't
I'm
have
really
that type
going
of
to
impact.
I can't think of another time where the guy who just won MVP,
It's crazy.
we think it's impossible he be the best player in a series.
Well,
like even like when the Cavs were trying to execute the 3-1 comeback against the Warriors, and Steph had just won MVP. I don't think anybody, even myself, as big of a LeBron guy as there is, thought it's impossible that Steph outplays LeBron. I didn't think he would. I thought LeBron, but the idea that and I don't think Bru's being hyperbolic when he's like, I can't conceptualize a world where Shea, who just averaged 32 a game on 55%, and up until last night his team had not lost in the playoffs since Game 6 of last year's finals, he just has no shot of being the better player over these next 2 weeks.
Because this guy is so unprecedented defensively.
But what if he's not there? Like at the end of the game when Chet was in the corner and
he stayed in the corner.
Yeah,
but he did that on purpose.
Yeah, but that did seem like a miscommunication defensively on some level, because Castle afterwards was like, Castle seemed to think he was going to have baseline help.
Yes.
Because he shuffled SGA baseline and then there was nobody there. So
I think they told Wemby
strategic
to
things that he
there.
could do where SGA got that one. I mean, I'm not going to go. He averages 30 points, so I'm not saying 2 points, but he got that one. And then he had that spinning dunk. I thought that hit my radar too.
I'm not saying he won't play well, but I also think
he averages 30, bro.
SGA was not this type of MVP. I thought he should have won the MVP based on the regular season.
Yeah.
But MVP isn't best player in the world.
No.
Steve Nash was never really close to the best player in the world, and he won back-to-back MVPs. Wow. And so you would have, there's many of those times Jordan didn't win it, and then he'd meet Barkley or Karl Malone in the finals. They weren't going to outplay Michael Jordan. They might. So I just think
the 90s,
no chance.
I don't know.
Like the 90s.
So I don't. Again, I was 8 years old, and you were covering the series. But I don't think in the '93 finals that people felt 0% Barkley outplays Jordan. And now it ended up being Barkley played one of the greatest series ever, and Jordan played his greatest series of all time. But I just don't. It feels weird for us to be like, nope, there's no chance he can do it. But I do think that, life comes at you fast, man. 5:15 yesterday on this show, we're doing Shea Michael Jordan graphics. 4:35 today, we're like, hey, Steve Nash also won MVPs.
The thing is, though,
it's like a real
we're dealing
whirlwind.
With something we've never seen before, and that's why.
But that's the Wemby piece.
But that's what I'm saying.
Not the Shea piece.
No, Shea could play his best basketball, and I don't think he will be better individually than Wemby. So because you're dealing with something, like I said, we've never seen before, and that's why I've overridden my not only natural inclination, but from my decades of covering the league, of you gotta experience some pain before you win. You can't win it that young. I've overridden that because this is unprecedented. 7'5" guy that has guard skills.
Can I add one other thing that hit my radar before we go? I thought Caruso hitting the camera was a sign they're rattled.
Great take.
I don't know if you saw it, but keep in mind, he hit the camera. That was the moment after Chet blocked Wemby. It was going into overtime when he did that. Or going into the second overtime. No, it would have been going into overtime. Or was it after? It might have been after Wemby hit the three. I'm not sure, but it was in between either regulation and overtime. But the point is, game was tied. I know that because we were headed into an overtime. And this team that is very, very kind of cornerly confident and has their own unique bravado. And Caruso was obviously playing great. They just seemed rattled, even though, again, it was tie game, 5 minutes to decide it. And so that hit my radar.
Just think about, because you don't, I think I'm totally there. I think you're kind of there. You don't seem to be there at all. If you played a team or an individual 6 times in, 5 months?
Yep.
And they beat you 5 of the times.
Yeah.
You're human. At some point, it's going to be like...
Thunder looked deflated at the end of the game. I know it was a long game, but they didn't... There was no... I don't know. I think it hurt that they were at home and the crowd was like, oh, crowd was amazed. They got to see Wemby too. That was
I have
bad.
a great Knicks take coming.
Live from
Now you're going to say Newgarden's not your guy.
Well,
Unbelievable.
Newgarden is obviously my guy. We will be here Thursday and Friday. We'll have an unofficial meet and greet at some casino on Friday night.
Friday night.
Pubs.
It might have to be real late because I was texting with some of the big bosses about maybe a little Friday night get together, a little schmoozing.
Then
for
of
the
course
show,
it's the
and then
Indy 500 Sunday 12:30. Pre-race starts at 10. Below looking to go back to back. Newgarden looking for victory number 3.
If he wins, do you think like he'll let me in the paddock, like hanging out with him?
Polo?
Polo, yeah, my guy.
Definitely. You should bring some milk.
Oh, definitely, obviously.
Cavs in the Garden tonight for Game 1. Knicks are favored by 7.5. OG Anunoby is going to play. The last 7 games, well, the Knicks have won 7 games. And they're basically the hottest playoff team in the history of the NBA. Not an exaggeration. Right. Winning games by an average of 26.4 points. Are we expecting another Knicks blowout victory?
KW, I have a nuclear take.
A nuclear take?
Multi-leveled nuclear.
Oh.
Wow. First one is this. This is a must-win for the Knicks.
A must-win? You know what? Not nuclear.
Here's why.
What's home Game 1?
No, that has nothing to do with it. They're going to win the series no matter what. It's a must-win for the Knicks. Really championship chances, which I think winners last night in the world. Number 1, Wemby.
Yep.
Number 2, the NBA. That whole face of the league debate we had for 4 years, who's going to take it over after LeBron, problem solved.
Good.
Number 3, the Milwaukee Bucks. Because I think Giannis's trade value went up because he's one of the only guys in the world, I think, that you can be like, he credibly might be able to give Wemby some trouble. Number 4, the New York Knicks championship hopes. Because unlike Brew, I think last night was a signifier that, not that we're going to have, I shouldn't say unlike Brew, because I don't know exactly how you feel about it. I don't think there's going to be an easy series for the Spurs. I think Spurs can win it, but I think this is going to be a hard-fought, long, tight, physical series. And the Knicks' path to winning a championship is continuing what they've been doing thus far this postseason, which is cruising and crushing people, and have the Spurs and the Thunder, both of whom they acquitted themselves well against this year in the regular season, beat each other to a pulp and then come limping into the finals. And so that doesn't work if the Knicks, need 6 or 7 to beat Cleveland and they deal with their own issues. So I do think the Knicks win tonight, and I think if they're trying to win 16, they've got to win tonight so they can put themselves in position to win this series in 5
But
games.
if they lose tonight, you still think they win the series?
I still think they win the series. I just think their chances of winning the championship go down greatly.
No, they beat the Spurs 2 out of 3 times, and obviously the Spurs, we'd say they're better now, but so are the Knicks, apparently.
Yes.
So I don't expect like a rout like they did of Philadelphia in Game 1 and some of these recent games, but I think they win fairly comfortably. I think it's a good game. I think they win by 9 or maybe double figures, small double figures,
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd love to see a barn burner. I don't really see that, but I'd love to see a game that's in the balance with a couple minutes left, and it's a really exciting game. I'd love to see a great series. This will be telling because like I said yesterday, I don't think the Cavs defense is up to the task of guarding that entire Knicks team where all 4 or 5 players are offensive threats. And so I think we're going to find out some of that tonight. For the Cavs, I do think this is it's a bigger game for them, I think, than the Knicks. Because the Cavs, if you're the Cavs, you should be thinking they're going to be rusty. They have no rhythm. We're still flowing. We got momentum. Let's go punch them in the mouth right away. And they've been blowing everybody out. Let's make them doubt themselves a little bit.
It's the history of teams, and we had this graphic yesterday, and I didn't use it, and so I don't know if we have it today. But the history of teams that had to go 7 rounds 1 and 2, it's the 08 Celtics who turned that into a title, and then no one else. It's just like having to go 7 in rounds 1 and 2 has historically always been a sign that you're either out of gas or you're not actually quite good enough, to keep it going. The 08 Celtics were the exception, where they were an unbelievable regular season team and then played some of their worst basketball the first month of the playoffs and then turned it on late.
Last 2 songs, 6.
Quickly on Harden. We've seen Harden have 30-point games. We've seen Harden have a 9-point game.
He's also never played the Knicks in the playoffs, obviously. He's never played a playoff game in MSG, even when he was in Philly or in Brooklyn. Never played the Knicks.
I could see it going either way, but which?
I think the Cavs are exhausted. So it doesn't mean they're going to be exhausted the whole series, but I think it is very difficult to come off a 7-game war like they did, a road game 7, and then 48 hours later have your A game. And I think OG coming back, is helpful for the Knicks. So I think this is a comfortable Knicks win tonight at the Garden. And also another big winner, NBA Cup. Maybe those banners should be a little bit bigger. NBA Cup final this year, Spurs Knicks. If the NBA Cup final turns into the actual NBA finals, which now is Spurs are a coin flip, and the Knicks are the heavy favorites.
Live from New York, it's First Things First, overtime. Danny Parkins is here. Is Wemby now the face of the league? I think so. Meanwhile, can the Cavs steal Game 1 at Madison Square Garden? Donovan Mitchell, back in Westchester, talking about it.
You're going to see him at the dry cleaner?
Yeah, sometimes you see his car driving around. You do. He's got a very fancy car, believe it or not. And finally, a special edition of Top 10 Tuesday. The 10 best players in the Western Conference Finals, alongside Chris Broussard, Kevin Wildes, Nick Wright, and Danny Parkins, who has really established himself as the bearer of reasonable takes. Got off the Thunder yesterday all year, be like, you know what, the Thunder are inevitable. And then you're like, I want to respect the Spurs.
No.
Starting to sell your Thunder stock. A wise investor, I would call you. A wise investor.
As Nick knows, no greater compliment.
Like your buddies.
No greater compliment. Listen, I have respect for greatness. Everyone knows that about me.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
He did not push back at all.
This is really. I don't want to listen.
I don't
want to be hyperbolic.
No, not at all.
I don't want to be hyperbolic here. But in about the segment we do, within the segment, from about 5:10 to about 5:17, might determine the rest of your career. I'm really, really curious. I'm really curious.
I saw it coming.
How this gets handled.
Okay.
I'm just going to sit back and listen to Danny.
Wemby, 41-24. Wow. Spurs win. Asked about being the best. He said, man, it's a huge world out there. Take a listen.
Do you feel like, especially after this game, that you're the best player in basketball?
Do I feel like it right now? I feel tired. But it's not a question I'm wondering right now. We'll see, The world is 8 billion people, so it's 8 billion opinions.
Those are the right answers.
Drew just loves him so much. Brew, every time we play Wemby sound, Brew just turns to Wild. He another great
answer.
He got it right again.
I'm not worried about that right now. I'm about winning this chip.
But also, don't think it's not on my mind. We'll see.
Right.
There's a lot of people out here.
8 billion people in the world.
Also, I knew the world's population.
I'm a really smart, well-read individual.
What did he prove to you last night, Danny?
A lot, man. A lot. I'm the youngest person at this table, but I've been watching basketball my whole life, just like all of us. And I don't know, I was 1 when Hakeem did it at that age, right? My parents had not met when Kareem did it. It's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen watching basketball. That it felt like I was watching evolution. That's what it felt like. It felt like I was like, okay, I've seen crazy stat lines. I have seen 40-point triple-doubles. I have seen 60-point games. I've seen 80-point games. But have you ever seen a guy do that at that age in that manner, right? Because he's not the first guy to go 40 and 20.
Right.
But in this era, which has this level of talent and this level of athleticism and this amount of shooting, for a guy to do that and hit a 30-foot three in the midst of it, I was confident that it had never happened before in the history of basketball. Yet I went back and looked, and Hakeem Olajuwon didn't hit a three in his game when he went 40 and 20, and neither did Kareem. And so it's just like, okay, it's not hyperbole to say we are literally watching something that has never happened before. Those are the guys. He becomes the youngest to go 41 and 24, and again, does it with the 30-footer. And so it felt like I was watching evolution as a basketball player last night.
The evolution comment is interesting because that does cross your mind. Like, are we about to start seeing much taller players kind of playing like him? Because that's how it happens. But then I think back to Magic Johnson, 6'9" point guard, 6'8" point guard. And that did lead a lot of bigger players, and Bird played perimeter as well at 6'10". That did lead a lot of bigger players to shoot more, play more on the perimeter.
That was
but we
Bron
haven't
has
seen,
mentioned that, though, hasn't he?
Right, but I'm saying we haven't seen a ton of 6'9"
The next
point
guy
guards.
to be like Magic was LeBron.
Yeah.
And that took
So it's not
to
like
Bruce's
you
point, it
see
was
a ton
25
of
years
guys
after
like
Magic
that.
came in.
So
It was
I don't
the
know that
floodgates
it's
didn't-
gonna be a full evolution where we start seeing a lot of this.
But Brew, that's not even what I'm saying. Like, we might end up seeing a lot of this from him. Like that.
Oh, I'm sure because he's what do you guys? He's probably 70% of who he'll be.
Man, I might take the under on that, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I felt. It felt like we were watching like the evolutionary chart, yes, of basketball players, but also of him. And it's like, that's not going to be the best playoff game of his career.
Oh, no.
No, that definitely won't be the best playoff game. And I do think that, so this is where, 2 hours ago I said it, I got the same feeling, and this is the highest compliment I can give a basketball player, that I got when I watched LeBron at the same age have the 48 special against Detroit. When I just thought this 22-year-old who's never won an MVP, who's never been to a finals, is just clearly the best basketball player alive. And, to this day, that opinion infuriates Kobe fans. And I'm sure today, Shea fans are none too happy, and along with probably Joker fans as well, that it's like this guy who has none of the accolades or none of the accomplishments yet, you're saying he's the best. And the answer is, yeah, we watched the game. It just feels like he's the best. So I feel that way. I also will just pump the brakes the tiniest bit on the inevitability of dominance. Because I do think, and we're not bringing it up because he didn't have a 40 and 20 at that age, but there were moments where we were watching around the same age, a couple years older, when we saw
Shaq.
Shaq is a great example. I was going to say Giannis. When it's like, did Giannis just take one dribble from half court and dunk on people? And it felt like that was going to be an unstoppable, inevitable force. Shaq is a better example, actually.
I think Shaq is, because the thing about Giannis, and it's still to this day, he just couldn't shoot. That's the thing. Like, this guy can obviously shoot.
Wemby's just
Shaq,
not going to
is
shrink.
great.
Like he's gonna, he's not going to get less tall, so he should be that dominant defensively for a decade as long as he's healthy.
Are you ready to admit he's the best player in the world?
Yeah, and I didn't have any problem with that. Like, obviously, I own all the Oklahoma City stock and have been super high on Shea. But the only thing that I've ever said on this show that has kind of upset Thunder fans was I actually thought that it was going to be really hard for Shea to hold that belt because of how good the team is. That like some of what the Thunder's greatness is their depth, how good they are defensively, the team, and that Jokic or Wemby as individual talents are more impressive. And so, yeah, man, no one else in the world could have done that last night. So I've got no problem saying it.
So, but
none.
Here's the other thing that I think matters, and instead of using a LeBron comp, I'll use a Jordan comp. One of the things we learned from The Last Dance, that part of Jordan's brilliance was creating slights where they didn't otherwise exist. Yes. And the famous LeBradford Smith example of a poor guy who didn't actually ever do anything to him, but he's like, I'm going to kill you. And I know you're going to talk about Chet later, but Wemby has just created a rival that doesn't seem like the other guy ever wanted any part of it.
Yep.
And Wemby is too smart and thoughtful to actually feel like I got robbed of this MVP. Like, he did miss games down the stretch. Shea did have a historically great offensive season. Like, they had the better record. All of those things.
I disagree with that.
Yeah, because
He laid out his case of like
and then he
defenses
missed some weeks.
I know, but he's like, if they're so good, we play one-on-one and I beat them, and defense is half the game, and I'm by far the better defensive player.
I do agree with Wiles because remember, there's no criteria. Wemby might be of the mindset that MVP is best player in the world. Now, we don't think that, and most voters don't think. But you know what I mean? Like, he may just be like, I'm the best player in the world. I should have got it.
So maybe he does feel that way, but regardless, the point I'm trying to make is the voting came out, and it was not close at all.
That's
like,
right.
Shea got 80-some votes. Wemby, what did Wemby get? 5 first place? 4 first place?
Yeah, I think that matters.
It was and it was much like the Akeem example we talked about yesterday, when David Robinson got 70-some first place votes, and Akeem Olajuwon, whose team was the 6th seed, got 1. But Akeem was like, you have something that's mine. In my opinion, kind of created a slight that wasn't really there. Like, it wasn't an outrage. Akeem didn't get robbed. Wemby didn't get robbed. And they both responded almost identically statistically. Like, the fact that they both ended on 41 points is wild to me. That it was in the conference finals, that it was on the road. Wemby had more rebounds, but Akeem had a few more assists and I think one more block. Like, they both responded by saying, all right, he won the award, but I'm not going to let anyone leave this gym today thinking he's better than me. He might have the hardware. He's not better than me, and I think he accomplished that.
OKC's first playoff loss. Danny refused to guarantee a victory yesterday, and he was correct. So good call by you.
That shot by Shea, we could have done 10 minutes on.
SGA says he needs to be better. Take a listen.
It's just unfortunate I wasn't able to bring my best game tonight, but that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you're your best version, sometimes you're not. You got to roll with the punches, don't get discouraged, and stay true to who you are. We've been in this situation before, so this feeling's not really new. We have to get better with each game. We have to learn the mistakes from the wins and the losses, tonight the losses, and continue to get better.
Danny, are the Thunder still inevitable?
They are still going to win this series. Is my career okay?
I don't know. Let's see how the next few minutes go.
Okay. Inevitable? They're inevitable?
I have no problem admitting when I get new information.
Oh, my God.
I have no problem. It's not inevitable, man.
It's not inevitable.
The other team has an alien, Nick.
Did they sign him yesterday? Is that new information? What's the new information? You just said I have no problem when I have new information.
You think they're going to win?
I think they're going to win. What's the problem?
I don't think you do.
I think they're going to win.
I don't think you do.
I think they're going to win.
And then they're inevitable.
Yeah.
Okay, fine,
You've been saying that all year.
You guys are a bunch of bullies.
You've been saying they're inevitable all year.
I still think they are going to win. I still think a lot of weird outlier things happen in that game that tilt the Thunder's direction overall. Now, Caruso's not going to hit 8 threes going forward. I'm not sure that it's good for the Spurs if De'Aaron Fox starts cutting in to Dylan Harper's minutes.
Really?
Stephon Castle's turnovers will go down,
Yes.
but Dylan Harper just had the best rookie point guard game since Magic Johnson, so I'm certainly open to the possibility that those De'Aaron Fox minutes, if it cuts away from
Harper.
From Harper.
You think Harper's going to average 24, 11, and 7 steals? I mean,
I think he is spectacular. I think Chet will have more than 8. I think that SGA.
Chet averages 10 against the Thunder.
I think he will have more than.
So maybe he'll have against the Spurs.
I think AJ Mitchell's going to make more than 2 baskets. I think that SGA is going to shoot better than 7 of 23, and they easily could have won that game. They easily could have won.
Are
that
you
game.
actually leaving? You trying to argue that was a positive?
We just spent
like
time
I can just sit
about
here and
Wemby.
say all the things that went wrong. They got 28 points off of steals, off of turnovers. They forced the Spurs into 23 turnovers. That's what they do. They shot 38% from 3. The Spurs shot 30% from 3. Like a lot went their way. And they still lost.
Do you think it's inevitable that the Spurs are going to win, or do you?
Yes, I think the Spurs are the better team. Clearly, they beat them 5 out of 6 times,
and 4 out of 5 with all of their players. Yeah. I think the series is going 7, and then Game 7 will be in Oklahoma City.
I think it's a 6-game series with the Thunder.
So here's to me the question I would have: did Shea and Chet have bad nights, or are these bad matchups? Like that to me is what's going to determine whether or not the Thunder, this was an outlier performance or the Thunder are in real trouble. Because I am more okay with the idea, and I don't know where you stand, Danny, that Shea just had an off night. That Shea, that
he's not gonna.
I think. He's gonna be better than this.
But
I think they
made
him
game 2, and none
easily.
of us would surprise.
I think he easily could have.
I think they made him.
Oh, I think they made him work for it, no doubt. But I think the Shea performance, I am more apt to be like, okay, that's probably going to be his worst game of the series. That might have been Wemby's best and Shea's worst, and it went to double overtime. So hey, we'll take that trade-off. The Chet piece of it, Danny, would terrify me if I were a holder of all this. Not only Thunder stock this year, but the Reich of the Thunder that is, before us at the hands of the great Sam Presti. That Chet seemed not up for the challenge to the point to where he's not guarding Wemby, he's getting punked by Wemby, and he was never. He had the block at the end of regulation. You give him credit for it.
It's a great play.
But he never really seemed to even win a round. And that's the piece that I wonder if that's going to change much.
Chet was awful, and Daigneault's an awesome coach, and they clearly do not think that a straight head-to-head matchup with Chet is the way to defend him. They had Caruso defending him for the vast majority of the game because they wanted Chet to be the help and to be the rover. So I don't think they're going to change that. So if the question is is Chet up for the one-on-one matchup?
No, but
with
can
Wemby?
No. The question is, can Chet do more offensively?
He does have to take the challenge to say, okay, even if whether I'm guarding him or not, I have to put some points on the board offensively. But I looked in his 5 games with them this season, he's averaging 10 points against the Spurs. That's his worst versus any team. He's shooting 37%. I don't know if this is the case. He appears to be scared of Wemby. That's what it looks like. And that's the worst thing you could say about an athlete. So hopefully he'll take that as a challenge. But he looks like he don't want to accept the challenge.
I was surprised that Wemby had as few blocks as he had because it felt to me like the Thunder should have taken a page out of Minnesota's book and been way more aggressive and just attack. They retreated a lot, and they were kind of relying on how smart they are, the offense they run, trying to drag him away from the basket and then shift it around to the other end of the court, as opposed to just going through his chest and trying to either draw fouls, get blocks, or dunk on the guy.
It's Tuesday at 5:17, which means it's time for a quick episode of Top 10 Tuesday. Today's topic, top 10 players in the Western Conference Finals. We could have some real upsets here.
We did a quick pivot from 10 greatest games in NBA history, which we thought might take 6 hours.
Yeah. I still have to show you my rough draft from that one. It's a fun one. I was like, is AI going to get snubbed in game one? It was tough. All right, coming in at number 10, Cason Wallace. One of the best perimeter defensive players in the league. We'll get there eventually. 1.8 steals per game, most for any player who plays under 25 minutes. Any team in the league would want to have him. We'll see what type of impact he makes over the course of this season. Lou Dort, really bad last night.
Was on the court instead of SGA for the final defensive possession of regulation.
Yeah, they sub him in for any sort of defensive specialty spot. Coming in at number 9, A.J. Mitchell. Ooh. Maybe it's the best contract in the league. People want the Thunder to trade him. They will not trade him because he is an absolute stud. And I'll just put it like this. If Karl Anthony Towns was in this series, Karl Anthony Towns would be higher on the list. And in terms of this level of efficiency, in terms of points per minute, averaging over 17 and over 4.5 assists in the fewest minutes, it's Cat and A.J. Mitchell. 4 points last night, second fewest in any game this season. Coming in at number 8, he didn't play last night, De'Aaron Fox. He's a great player. I do think Dylan Harper has jumped him. If De'Aaron Fox played last night, though, Stephon Castle would have had less than the 11 turnovers that he did. Coming in at number 7, Alex Caruso. You guys know I'm a big stand-up comedy fan. In comedy, there's like a comedian's comedian. He's a hooper's hooper. Like, that is a basketball player's basketball player. The fact that he can hit 8 threes, have all of the deflections, do all of the smart things that he does on the court, and guard Wemby when he's given up 8 or 9 inches to the guy, just absolutely
Probably more
incredible.
valuable than Taylor Horton Tucker. Lakers probably want that one back.
yeah, Bulls might have wanted an
was
extra
obvious
draft
from the
pick
get-go.
in the Giddey for Caruso trade.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 6, lower than he needs to be, Chet Holmgren. Now, you mentioned 10 points. Interesting that you do. They're so deep and so good, they really just need Chet to give them 10 points. Their record, Brew, I know. In the playoffs, when Chet gives the Thunder 10 or more points, they are 22-5. When he scores below 10 points, they are 2-3 over the last 2 years. Just get to double figures. The rest of the guys figure out a way to do it. He, of course, wasn't able to get there last night. Coming in at number 5, Stephon Castle. I think he's the 3rd best player on the Spurs. Everyone's been saying that he's the 2nd best player. We'll get to that in a second. But I also wanted to figure out a way to work in James Harden.
Why?
Well, because if you look at guys who are still alive in the playoffs to go 19-5-6, Stephon Castle and James Harden. Pretty good list.
Also, you could add a qualifier and have an 11 turnover playoff game in their career. It's the same. It's the same list.
You know what, Nick? I chose not to. Coming in at number 4, as I pointed out on social media, I've been on Dylan Harper for a
Danny's
long
out
time.
here tweeting like he discovered Dylan Harper.
He's a
He's
good
the
player.
number 2 pick in the draft. Danny's like, check my receipts. I like Dylan Harper. Number 2 pick.
I tweeted about him after he had a 9-point game back in October. Guy's a
You
stud.
sound more and more like he wants to pick.
Absolutely.
Spurs.
Boy, and if you thought it was hyperbole, Dylan Harper and Magic Johnson, this is a fun graphic. 20 or more points, 10 or more rebounds, 5 or more assists, 5 or more steals by a rookie in a playoff game. Only 2 guys to ever do it. In a world where Wemby's stats are a little less gaudy and he doesn't hit that shot, we are spending a ton of time on today's show just talking about Dylan Harper. That was an all-time game from a rookie last night. Coming in at number 3 on the list is Jalen Williams. Was good last night, took a terrible shot, a two-way player, an all-NBA guy, an all-star, a guy who's put up 40 in a finals game before. They're obviously going to need him to be better. But the guy who really needs to improve for the Thunder is SGA, who comes in at number 2. I changed it. I put Wemby in at number 1. It's pretty simple. If you can do that and dominate on the defensive end of the court and not wear down, which was a huge question. I mean, the guy had 9 points and 4 rebounds and a block in the second overtime.
What
it
a
was
concession
ridiculous.
by you to put
Thank
Wemby
you.
at the top.
It was a huge concession.
A lot of growth.
Thank you.
That.
Not a bad list. I probably switch for now, at least, Castle and Harper. I think both are sensational. Harper was better last night, but I think over the course of the playoffs, Castle's been better. And I'm going to put Wilds as nemesis. He hates this guy, but Julian Champagny in there.
I didn't know Wilds hated
He
it.
shoot.
He
got something against Champagny.
like
I don't
him.
know
I
what
just
it is.
think
Seems strong.
He don't like him taking
Time
shots.
to take a shot. Wemby should take the shot.
Oh, right.
42% shooter from 3 on 6 attempts a game. He's their best 3-point shooter. And last night he hit big threes. Think we're gonna show this one. 90. They're down 1.
That's a huge shot.
Beats the buzzer, because the buzzer went off as he was hitting the shot. For the shot clock. The shot clock.
That was that you could
And,
argue that was the second biggest shot.
Yeah,
of the game.
that was
The
so.
Wemby's
I love
big-time three.
when I see him taking a 3.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Can I give
I'll go
mine
with
real quick?
Wilds.
Yeah.
I like it.
I
don't think you do.
know Jalen Williams is a good player. At times he looks like a very good player. I have no evidence whatsoever that the Thunder need him or that he actually helps them. I know that sounds absurd. Hold on, I didn't say Jalen was way overrated. Take that off. That is not what I said. What I am saying is, I think that if we throw up the graphic, Danny, how do we explain this at this point? They simply, once again last night, showed him coming in does not lead to winning. I think he's he's an all-star level player. I don't deny it. But this is not a small sample size of their record without him.
You actually think they are a better team without him, though, just because the win-loss record? I mean, the guy had 40 points in an NBA Finals game.
I understand, and that's what we
That's
always
Danny's
go to.
favorite.
That is, we go
He had
to
3
that.
straight games
about
of 25 or more.
I
He made all defense last year. He made all NBA.
I think he's obviously a good player. I don't understand this graphic, and no one has been able to explain it to me. That they win, they're an awesome team with him, and they seem to be a 70-plus win team pace without him. And last night
certainly
they
a weird graphic.
What?
It's certainly a weird graphic. We've
Yeah.
seen this. You know where else this used to pop up? Jaws graphic.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's the only time we've ever had a graphic like this. We're like, hold on, the Grizzlies are good without Ja?
So I guess my only
I
point
need to
is
dig in deeper to like how many bad, like how many tanking teams they were playing on
it's
that.
a whole season's worth of games.
No, I understand.
And,
It's just a lot.
In fairness,
it's a lot.
And in fairness to our producers, I think what I told them was I think Danny is way overrating Jalen Williams. So there might have been a loss in translation there. I just think might be the third best player, but he certainly is not anywhere close to the third most important player in this series. I don't know if my feeling on the series would change at all if they're like he's out, AJ Mitchell's back in. That's it.
Well, AJ Mitchell's gonna.
He's got to be.
He's got to be.
He did have 40 in the finals game.
Is Wemby now the face of the league? That's next on First Things First Overtime.
I'm sorry, does not 40-point finals games does not matter anymore for a team that wins. Welcome back to the OT. You might have heard, but Wemby had a pretty good game last night. The 4th game in NBA playoff history with 40 points, 24 rebounds, 3 blocks, and it was against, well, one of the great teams in this era. Joining me now to talk more hoops, senior NBA writer for The Athletic and my buddy Nick Friedel. Friedel tweeted last night, that performance in that game leaves no doubt who the next face of the league is when LeBron and Steph retire. Don't think you're going out on too much of a limb there, but maybe SGA or Jokic fans would have something to say about it. Do you think that is locked in? Wemby, face of the league, they're in good hands for the next decade plus?
It's set. Danny, if you're Adam Silver and you're watching that game last night, you are going to sleep taking a big sigh of relief saying there was all this angst about what happens when LeBron and Steph finally retire, because that day's coming in the next couple years here. Wemby's your guy. He is the face of your league. You don't drop 41 and 24 in a conference finals game against the defending NBA champs on the road without having some serious swagger. This is a guy who can draw people who are not interested in the game day to day and make them watch. I had a couple buddies I grew up with. They don't follow the league. They're texting me like, is this dude this good? And I'm like, absolutely he is. I mean, Mr. Parkins, he made people care about the All-Star game. He made his peers care about something that, hey, they haven't cared about in years. And as a proud native of Orlando, Florida, as I watched that game last night, I just thought back to prime Shaquille O'Neal with the Magic, because this is the closest thing we've seen to being that dominant of a force that young in his career. So the NBA has got to feel fantastic because Wemby is that kind of difference maker that Shaq was early on. You know it when you see it, and you know when you watch Victor Wembanyama that he's that good and he's going to get that much better, just like the guy we're seeing on the screen right there.
Yeah, the Shaq comp is a fun one, and I can't really disagree with anything that you said. The only thing is, not that any kid could grow up and be LeBron James, because he's one of the greatest athletes in the history of the world, but at least when LeBron is out there on the court, like, there are people taller than him. So it kind of normalizes it a little bit, even if he is bigger, faster, stronger than basically everyone. Wemby is such an outlier, like, that he makes everybody else look small. There is something to, like, my kid can't grow up to be any of these guys, I understand, but, like, no one can grow up and be Victor Wembanyama. And I'm not saying that stops him from being the face of the league, but there is a different category that I think we're going to put him in. I keep going back to this anecdote because I just find it so unbelievable. Like, Jokic having him sign his All-Star game jersey. You mentioned the All-Star game. Signs his name, and he's like, and can you draw the picture of the alien? You know, like it feels like something we've never seen before in sport. So I don't know if relatability is a prerequisite for face of the league, but I don't really find there to be much relatable about this guy because he is doing things that we've never seen before in the history of the sport.
Danny, I think the point about Jokic is well taken because think of it this way. The greats always know what the other greats look like.
Exactly.
And they know when they're playing against Wemby right now, they're playing against the guy they've never seen before who can dominate on so many different levels. So while your kid can't grow up to be Wemby, who's 7'5" and is a defensive force and can hit shots from the logo like Steph, what he can do is be drawn to watch him every night. And when you're the NBA and you have had all these questions around what does the future look like when your two main standard bearers are about to exit stage right, you can have this moment of pure joy that you have this young guy who's going to get better and better, who makes people watch and makes people interested. And that is not something that has been said about a lot of guys over the last few years. Not only is he an awesome player, he's got the personality to back it up. And this is something to watch for the league for years and years to come.
Yeah, the personality is a big piece of it. He is interesting, he is thoughtful, and he's got that Kobe, Michael, crazy competitiveness thing that is marketable. Like the assassin that people will want to latch onto, that he's going to make rivalries and try to strike them all down. I absolutely agree that that'll be a big piece of his story as he continues to build it. All right, there is an Eastern Conference, right? I think we're all so caught up in it, but let's talk about the game tonight. Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs going to the Garden to play Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. Mitchell and Brunson have both been with their teams for the last 4 years. They both made the playoffs in each of those years. If you look at how they perform in the postseason, side by side, I mean, these are two of the great playoff performers that you could have, so it's pretty natural here. Yes, Donovan Mitchell is on the team that's the underdog, but who would you rather have, Nick? Jalen Brunson or Donovan Mitchell?
Give me Brunson every day and twice on Sunday because, Danny, he is a basketball killer. And he has shown it over and over again in the clutch moments. Donovan Mitchell is a hell of a player, and maybe he can take another step in this series and the narrative can change around him. But nobody has ever looked at Donovan Mitchell and said, yep, that's the guy you want to dominate an entire team game after game after game. I know he had that moment in the bubble. He was pretty awesome, but he's never been able to elevate the rest of his group. Now's his chance. But if you're giving me one player in this series and I have to pick between those two, I don't even think it's a fair comparison. Jalen Brunson makes everybody else around him better. When those guys hand him the ball late in the games, they expect him to make the shot and to end it. And he has the trust of that group at a level that Mitchell doesn't have right now. So Cleveland's going to have their chance. They can show everybody that they're different than what they have appeared to be the last few years. But as we sit here before game one, Jalen Brunson is the man in this series. And I think the gap between where he is and where Mitchell is pretty vast.
So I don't want to get this clipped or taken out of context because I agree with you. I think the answer is Brunson. That would be my answer. Where I disagree, I don't think the gap is that large because both of these guys are scorers. And sometimes I see Brunson, it's ball dominant. He could have an inefficient 10 of 26 game, and it's four guys standing around watching because they expect him to hit the shot, because he's one of the best fourth quarter players, because he's one of the best scorers in the league. And Donovan Mitchell has been inconsistent in that. But game 1 and 2 against Toronto, he was excellent. The end of the last series against Detroit, he was excellent. And in that, going into that game 7 against Detroit, he's averaging less than 3 assists per game, but then he came in and he looked to be a facilitator. So I think Donovan Mitchell does have that playmaking gear. We know they both can score 40. We know they both can take over a game and put the ball in the hole. But I thought how Mitchell finished the series against Detroit as a little bit more of a playmaker, that's what they're going to need in order for them to have any chance at pulling off an upset in this series. So again, I do agree with you. Brunson has more pelts on the wall. He should be the choice. But I do think that there is that gear for Mitchell as a playmaker and facilitator that if he taps into it, that's where you said, can he take his game to another level? To me, that's what he would need to do.
The floor is his, Danny. This is his moment then. He can do it at home. He can show everybody like me, no, I'm a better player. But I'm here to tell you, a couple years ago, I covered that series between Cleveland and the Knicks. The Cavs were a higher seed. They were favored. They walked into MSG, and they wanted no part of that atmosphere at all. Maybe things have changed. Mobley's a different player. Harden, for all the doubts I have about him, he can play at a very high level at various points. But Mitchell is the guy. So if he wants to have his moment and prove that he's in a different class than people think he is, now's the time, and there's no better setting than MSG.
All right, well, coming up, we'll go back to the Western Conference. We talked about it from the Wemby and Spurs perspective. SGA put the loss on him. How much blame goes to the now two-time MVP? Coming up on the OT. Thanks for hanging out with us on First Things First. So it was a rough night for the Thunder. They took their first loss of the postseason to the Spurs, 122-115 in double overtime. SGA, not at an MVP level last night, only made 7 of 23 shots from the field. Also could have used more from Chet. Jalen Williams had a pretty nice night. But of course, SGA wanted to put it on himself after the game. Do you agree with him, Nick Friedel? Thank you for hanging out with us, that game was on SGA last night.
Mr. Parkins, I do, because when you're the MVP, especially on the night you get the trophy for the second year in a row, all eyes are on you. Yeah. And if you're that talented, when you have a night when you're 7 for 23 and you don't win, everybody's going to look at you. So, yes, it's on SGA. Yes, everybody's going to compare him to Wemby, not only in this series, but until the end of time at this point, because it seems like these two teams are on a crash course for the next decade. But if the Thunder want to turn things around, it starts with him more than anybody else, because he is the engine of everything they do. And it was very obvious what the Spurs' whole plan was. We're going to throw every single body we can at you defensively, and we're going to force somebody else to beat you. The greats always find a way. SGA is that good. I expect him to bounce back in a major way in Game 2, but there is no doubt. As far as blame goes, it starts right there with the kingpin of that team.
I have no problem with it starting there. I do have a problem with it ending there, because he was good in the fourth quarter. He did have a lot of assists, right? Double-digit assists in the game. And Chet Holmgren, it's a big 3 in Oklahoma City, right? Chet Holmgren had 8 points. He had 8. And he was, other than the block at the end of regulation, he was obviously ineffective on the defensive end. My case in point of that would be Victor Wembanyama had 41. And then the situational stuff for the Thunder, they're the best fast break team in the NBA. They gave away a ton of points in the fast break last night. A.J. Mitchell, best contract in the NBA, one of their best scorers, makes 2 shots last night. And then I want to show you the sequence, because the shot that's going to live on in forever is the Wemby 30-footer. And it obviously should. But if we can roll the possession that leads into it, it's Jalen Williams playing iso ball, under 40 seconds left. There's still 12 seconds on the shot clock. He takes a runner off the backboard that leads to the long rebound, that leads to the pseudo transition and the kickback to Wemby. They're up 3 at the time. If Jalen Williams hits the rim and that ball just misses in normal fashion, that's not a secondary fast break. I have no idea what Jalen Williams is thinking in that moment, not giving SGA a touch, because he had just had that dunk, the two-handed slam in that spot. And like I said, he had been better since the fourth quarter. I thought Oklahoma City was uncharacteristically disorganized in big spots. A.J. Mitchell's pull-up, they were bad in transition, the shot there by Jalen Williams. So sure, he's the MVP, and he had a bad game with 7 of 23 from the floor. I have no problem with the criticism and the blame starting with him. But if Jalen Williams draws iron on that shot, Oklahoma City probably wins the game. So I thought there was a lot of blame to go around.
Danny, you're right, and it's also worth noting that if you're OKC and you have been so dominant for so long, maybe you needed this wake-up call that you can't just take any shot down the stretch, and you have to have some order. There's no doubt, though, when you watch these two teams, San Antonio has had their number. I mean, Oklahoma City, for as great as they are, there is a mental block right now playing against Wemby and the rest of this group because they have found ways defensively to mess up their rhythm. I still believe the Thunder are so deep and so talented that they will find their way. But there is no doubt when you're watching the end sequences in that game, you're seeing a team that is a little rattled. And you're not used to seeing that from a Thunder group that has been so dominant for the last couple of years. So Chet has got to be better. You can't beat San Antonio and this basketball alien 4 times if he's going to play like that. And I think they're going to get more from the bench that we saw. But if you're the Spurs, the amount of confidence that you have walking into Game 2 and knowing that you have the difference maker of difference makers on your team, I think the Thunder have to be at least a little shaky given how forceful they have been in kicking everybody's butt for so long.
Right, the Thunder are the champs. The Spurs are the youngest team in the history of the conference finals, and it didn't look like it. But you lead me right into this. So the Spurs steal Game 1, and it's basically a toss-up, but the Thunder are still, ever so slightly, a favorite in the series. And I have to say, as the gambler between the two of us, even if you do gamble, I know I'm a bigger one. I am surprised. Like, the Spurs have won 5 of 6 in the head-to-head matchup this year. 4 of 5 when all of the principal parties between the two teams are playing. And Victor Wembanyama just did something that we've basically never seen before in the modern era of basketball. So I did expect to wake up today with the Spurs as the favorite in the series. And I think the fact that the Thunder are still, yes, it speaks to their respect, no doubt, but also a lot of things went wrong for Oklahoma City, and they still could have won the game. Are you surprised?
Danny, there's a reason that I don't touch the NBA. Because if it were me, I would take my apartment, I would go get my mom's house, I would get my brother's house, I would put all that money and pour it into the Thunder. Wow. I still think that they are that deep. They are that talented, and SGA is going to be that pissed off that he played as poorly as he did through most of Game 1. So I absolutely still believe that the Thunder are going to win this series because I would flip the argument and say, look, the Spurs got one of the all-time NBA performances from Wemby that we've ever seen. Dylan Harper in his first postseason start was unbelievable, and on both ends of the floor, didn't miss a beat, was incredible. Are you going to get those same 2 performances consistently in this series? I don't think so. I think the Thunder will make their adjustments. But if it's anywhere close, then sure. Like, the Spurs are going to win. And the Thunder, the dynasty that we thought was going to run for a while, will be there. But if it's me looking at these odds, I'm saying I still don't believe it, as incredible as Wemby is. His time is coming. It's not here yet. And I believe the depth. We haven't mentioned Caruso much. He was awesome. He's one of several guys that can continue to play at a high level. SGA plays a little better, and I think they have just enough.
Yeah, if Wemby is Hakeem Olajuwon and Dylan Harper is Magic Johnson, they'll probably win. But maybe there's going to be a little bit of regression on the side of San Antonio. We are just a couple hours away from Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Does Nick agree with me that the Cavs, a little disrespect, given all the Knicks blowouts? We discuss. Welcome back. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals has a high bar to clear if it's going to measure up with the West last night. Knicks, big favorites to win the series, minus 265. But if the Cavs steal Game 1 tonight, we'll see. Nick Friedel still hanging out with us. I picked the Cavs to win the East before. I know the Knicks are blowing everybody out. I'm picking the Cavs to win this series. Do you give Cleveland any shot to pull off the upset?
They have a chance, Danny, because of last year. I didn't think there was any way in hell that the Indiana Pacers were going into MSG and going to beat the Knicks in that kind of series, and that's exactly what they did. I absolutely believe the Knicks are going to win the series, but to say the Cavs have no chance, we talked about Donovan Mitchell. If he's the guy, this is his moment, and he can get them across. You have Allen, and you have Mobley to at least slow down Cat. You have the pieces in place that you would need. I just think the Knicks are a little bit better, and they've got some depth. And if you get somebody besides Brunson giving you everything every night, they're going to have enough.
Yeah, their defense has been great. OG Anunoby's been great. Cat's been great. Brunson's been great. The Knicks are hot. They're blowing them out. I get why they're the favorite. I would just say the Cavs are getting better. Like, they haven't played a lot together with that core big four. And yes, it went 7 with Toronto and Detroit, but I do think they're getting better over the course of it. So everybody expecting this to be like a gentleman's sweep in 5 or the Knicks to blow out Cleveland, I will personally be shocked if that happens.
I agree with you completely on that.
And who knows? Maybe James Harden can change a couple of narratives here at MSG. Probably going to have to come down to Donovan Mitchell. We'll be back tomorrow.